most of you obviously have been a member of Zoom, but now we're going to give you guys host powers. And so first, is the most important thing with technology is to read the screen and don't be afraid to push a button. I said no pie is going to come in your face, no computer is going to explode. The worst case scenario is you'd have to reboot or maybe redo. You might lose a little information, but growth mindset, it'll be better the next time. So I want all of you guys, I know some of you have video off. I am going to ask you to put video on, and then you can click it on and off as much as you want. We're going to do audio, video. Thank you. Just want to make sure you have that. And if some of you volunteer, I'll give you host powers, and you'll see that I can turn off or on any of your videos. And I teach middle school. So my students start to dance, or when there's background noise, the dog is barking, the sibling is crying. You want to be able to quickly kind of manage that. So go down below and go ahead and turn off right now. I believe video off will let all of you, you all have your name, and you guys, can you go up and change your name? I won't allow this for my middle schoolers, but I want you to know that if you go up to the 3 dots, you guys can rename yourself. I have allowed for that. So how does that look? I'm going to rename myself. I'll make sure everyone's here. Good. And you've got the video off, and I'm going to try each of you guys to share. So we're going to play a quick game. It's just learn how to chat.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Are
we starting, like the thing said it starts at 9:35, and I'm just wondering, are we actually starting the course yet, or is this all pre-stuff right now?
Thanks, David. I appreciate that. So let's just chat for 5 minutes. You're absolutely right, and I apologize. And I think in educators, we learn to be humble in order to connect. I really appreciate that. You're absolutely right. So let's take a little time, if you don't mind, letting people join in, absolutely. And can anyone want to share maybe what they teach or where they are in Santa Cruz? And I'm going to try different views. So David, how are you an educator? How are you related to connected?
I teach at New Brighton Middle School. I've been teaching going on 30 years. This distance learning thing is a complete, I got to be honest, I hate it. There's nothing about it I enjoy, but I'm a good soldier, so I'll go ahead and do what I need to do. But so anyway, I actually teach woodshop, which is going to be challenging. And so I just need to get adept at doing Zoom. So I know a little bit about it, but I really do not feel confident at all. So that's why I'm here today.
And one of our risks we're going to take today is I am going to try to give you host, and host has a whole different view than just being a guest. So if you guys are willing, well, you have to be, because this is our month that we're going to be hosting this. So woodshop, that is awesome, David. I love doing, I do STEM, I teach technology. So I'm going to be pushed also, and I love doing PE also, because those are the most challenging. So I'm going to try to think about woodshop. How are you going to do woodshop on Zoom? What ideas have you come up with?
I'm working on a lot of them right now. I think I'm going to end up doing little 1-week mini units. I'm trying to figure out if we can distribute little kits to students somehow, hand them off to the kids so they can actually do something. It's not going to actually involve wood, because the district's told me I can't have them use tools at home because of liability. So, it's going to be a little bit more, crafty, I guess, than woodshop, but we'll see. We'll see. I want them to be as hands-on as they can and not so much screen time during the time that I've got them.
Yeah, I did that with, we had Makerspace, and I gave them a choice to make something and create something, and like a little more crafty maybe might be a good solution. And we're definitely going to talk about trying to come off the screen, send things home. How is that going to look? And to create a sense of community. I'm letting everyone kind of join in right now. Is there anything else that you'd like to introduce us? Are you willing to You got to get used to seeing your face and hearing your voice on the computer. It's uncomfortable, but we are of the education growth mindset. So I hope that we can challenge ourselves. Would anybody else like to share just where they're from, what they teach, how they're involved with education?
Hi, I'm Nicole Tsao, and I actually work at Santa Cruz High School. I'm an RTI coordinator for math, so which is response to intervention. I work with students in Integrated 1 classes and basically used to pull out students when they need help and go into the classroom and help. So now this totally changed my function in the classroom. So instead of doing that, I actually set up tutorial hours. So I do 3 hours a day and try to just offer help to the students that need help.
Well, I have a strong connection to you. I teach math, and we actually used our resource teachers to lead our breakout rooms. So I'm going to throw you guys into a breakout room. I don't know if you've ever been in one. You've got to be in one first. It's kind of like this warp thing, and then I'm going to pull you back, and you also can come back. So having my resource teachers for math in leading a breakout room is such a gift. So you have a really special purpose, and I will be able to throw us into a breakout room. Have you been in a breakout room, anybody, before? Okay, you're gonna go into one, and you're gonna, I'm gonna call you back, or you can elect to come back to the main room. And I'm gonna pop into each of your rooms. So yeah, go ahead.
Do you assign students to a particular breakout room?
I've done both. I'm gonna be honest, the problem with pre-assigning before was not everybody showed up. So, so the second thing I did, I kind of looked at my groups and put them into two. I only done 3 groups. Today, I'm going to try something brand new. I'm going to try a random breakout room because I don't know you guys enough to establish who is with which one. And the reason I've never done this is because I'm going to go live with you, and the 3 fears are that something is going to punch me in the face, I'm going to get hurt, my computer's going to shut down, or you guys are going to laugh at me because I'll do something wrong. And those are very common, but the more we succeed, the more we try, the more we realize those aren't reality. So we have to kind of push those aside. Great, this is helping so much, but the leaders in the breakout room are going to be key. Anybody else want to introduce yourself? You got to get used to talking on screen.
I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Sara Sauceda. I just got to the meeting. Sorry for being late.
Oh, no
I
problem.
teach at BCS. I'm a language teacher. Teach Spanish 1 and 2 this year. We did a little bit of Zoom last year, but it's good to remember how to do things and not get behind the students because they're very tech savvy compared to me.
That's a fear we have. They will know more than we will know. And that's a flip. Thank you for introducing yourself. We guys, while we're doing this, I want you to push every button you can see right now. Don't just look at me. Don't look at each other. I want you up in gallery view. I want you in speaker view. I want you down below. I want you in starting and stopping your video. I want you audio. I want you clicking on other people. Don't let your hand stop. Most of us are good. Try to change your name. Try to change your background. Push button. I see thumbs up. That's great. I want you to push everything. I gave you guys more push buttons. Keep going. Because how you're learning is discovering. And every time you push a button and nothing bad happens, that's going to build your confidence. Because I teach, oh, good. We got someone with a virtual background. I couldn't get that today. I'm loving this. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a poll. They did a poll today. I've got a poll for you guys. And so it's a very easy poll. Go ahead and how is your energy level right now? And maybe you have no energy, you're sleeping. I got to wake you up. I've got all these tools and games for you. Maybe you're meh, in the middle. Meh is a real middle school, meh. And 4, you're doing well. And 5, you're just feeling great. Ironically, I can't answer this poll. So it's been 24 seconds. We'll give it 5 more seconds. And I'm going to share the screen with you. And you notice how I'm not leaving Zoom. 3, 2, 1. Let's see how we're feeling. and poll and share results. Are you able to see that? Thumbs up or virtual thumbs up? Wow, nobody is sleeping. That's good. Some of us are feeling a bit tired. We definitely need coffee. And I've got my coffee cup here. Meh, that's my middle school term. Doing well and feeling good. Look at that. So this is a really honest poll from our group. I'm going to stop sharing that. Okay, so what are the most important things? Share screen. You've got to know how to share screen. And you have to be able to control the annoying student. Okay, where's Pamela? I saw Pamela there. Pamela's one of my co-teachers, and she's going to be our annoying student. Is anybody willing to be the host? Let me choose somebody. And you're going to learn how to turn off her screen. Do you guys know this is the best function? You can turn off their audio and their video. So who is willing to be host? I see Michelle down there. Is anyone willing to be the host right now? I can give you host powers. Come on. Okay, Sarah, I'm gonna choose you. So I am going to make you host, and I have the power right now. So Sarah is now the host.
Yeah, I see more stuff that I can do.
You can see a lot more. We have a lot of host superpowers, I call them. Okay, so Michelle, you're gonna talk on your phone and be really annoying. And Pam, you're gonna do a little like distracting, because students will get like really distracting or they'll move their computer screen around.
Alexa, play country.
So Sarah, you're gonna click up on her ... and can you go above and can you see how?
Alexa, louder. Alexa, louder.
So more.
So there's some.
Mom, go ahead and do some cooking in the kitchen. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm just on a class with other teachers. It's okay. Come in. Don't worry about it. I'm being the annoying student right now.
Participant? No.
This is really important. This is going to happen. This is our reality. So if you have a ... at the top there, I'll claim back host there from you.
At the top left or right? I can't see it.
Okay,
So you can help her out. So there's 3 dots at the top of their page.
3 dots at the top of my page.
So go to Michelle Henninger.
You can't find it.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to take that. We have the power, which is great because if the students will hear that back.
More, but no, it's at the top. That's not at the top.
Okay.
Yeah, can't
Oh,
find
I'm not muted and my video is still on.
Let's see. Michelle, can you give her some hints? If she goes to your screen.
Go to participants.
Go to participant. I'm in participant.
Okay.
Click
And
on
then,
there.
And then on my name, you should, if you hover over.
Okay. Thank you. So go to participant because he wasn't really sure. So now I can mute you. I mute you. Okay. So that's the key piece.
Yay.
I was looking for the dots on the big screen. I didn't get the part that it would be the 3 dots on each individual picture. Well, no, the screen of the students.
Right. And then the other thing that's really important about that too is that if you have a student who you've given some verbal cues to, maybe you've sent them a chat that, you know, recognize your behavior, you're distracting the class. If you have a waiting room enabled, you can kick them into the waiting room for like a timeout.
That's great.
Yeah, and then you can go back in and pull them back in.
And that will be on the dot too? Oh yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of options there. I see. Okay.
Yes. There are multiple ways with technology, and this is why I invited Michelle. She is my expert and my close friend, and we collaborate together. So you can, they're under participants, again, you've got to read every single screen. And we're gonna do a really quick chat game here. I'm gonna hold up a word, making sure you guys can all chat. I wrote the word school blank. Is this the correct way for you, or is it backwards? Fine. School blank, thank you. And, but don't type it yet. You're gonna think of a word after here, and we're gonna see if you can match somebody else in the chat. So instead of saying, we're gonna learn how to chat, we're gonna, and make sure it's to everyone. Right now, I have it only to Holiday. So I need to go to the warm-up today. Make sure you have send to everyone. When we get our students, you want to make sure they can't do one-to-one. It's very distracting, but if they can share to host or to everyone. So school bank, in 5 seconds, you're going to write a word. Don't hit send yet. Some of us will. It's no big deal. School blank. I'm going to go to message, and I'm going to type something, and 5, or you're going to push enter in 3, or return 2, 1, and press enter, return. And oh my goodness, you guys, excellent, excellent. Everybody learned how to chat. So we have school rock, school bus, school spirit, school bell, school bus, school day. You guys are, I can't believe you understood how to wait. My students always go first, which is no big deal. We eventually get it. Okay, so look down. Is there anybody that you connected with? School bus is really popular. School day, school fun. Thank you, Sharon. So you see, this is a simple game, and people are learning how to chat. If you click at the bottom there, you'll see that you can chat. We'll do one more, and I usually play this for a little while when I'm doing my warm-ups or connecting. A little better here.
Yeah.
Summer blank. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little line across here of shift 8. Summer blank, and I'm getting my word in 5, hit return in 3, or enter in 2, 1, go. And then read the chat. Is there anyone that you matched with? We have summertime, summer break, summer heat. Wow, that's a lot of you guys. So summer was short. Oh my goodness, Kara, that is, thank you for making us laugh. That's just so important. Summer's over. A couple of you guys, Emily and Pamela. See that connection? You guys are sort of like, yeah, you're thinking the same way. I mean, this is a very small way to connect. Okay, I'm gonna put us into, I wanna show you a couple things about puppets. How do we get off screen? Elementary, I am not a puppeteer, but you're gonna have a class mascot. This is my Zoom beanie. I've had this for years for middle school. And if I were teaching 4th or 5th grade, I'd send home, I found a deal, 30 Beanie Babies for $30. If you can send home something, and everybody during your sessions would have their little pet, you could have a little mascot. Whatever your class mascot is, keep it. You're educators. Keep your class mascot. Try to find a small one to send home, or symbol, or send it home for a week, and have people say, hey, this is my Zoom beanie, I named it whatever. And this can become part of imagine if all of us had Zoom beanies, or all of us had little lambs, or all of us had something on our screen, or hit it. You could do a lot with it. Okay, you guys ready for breakout rooms? Yeah? Okay, check these out. I'm gonna set this up.
Hey,
Yeah, go ahead.
real quick, what was the purpose of the Zoom beanie?
Thank you. I'm gonna. How do we create class connection beyond the computer? How do you do woodshop beyond? How do you create elementary culture? And if each one of us had an animal, I'm not a puppeteer, but my friend is kindergarten, and he has a puppet every day. And the puppet kind of helps him dialogue, and it keeps that K1 through 3 attention like nothing else. And I apologize, I'm not a puppeteer, but he said, this is a really great key. I bet you guys are looking at the puppet more than at me. Or if all of us have a Zoom beanie, then it you can hide it somewhere. You can have it as part of your background. You can have hunch. You can create that 4th dimension connection, which is going to be really important in distance learning. So if some of you have that elementary or middle school and you wanted to send something home, that would be really, really, really important. So yeah, Dave.
So I'm thinking about just like basics here. Right now on my screen, I'm looking at a grid of 20 faces. Apparently there's one person on the other page. I got the participants open because you said at one point to open that, and I got the chat open. When you're doing Zoom, do you generally have all that open? And is there any way to get the whole class on one page so you don't have to flip from page to page? Because otherwise, how do you know what's going on?
Great. Someone else want to answer that? I know I can also, but I want you guys to get used to speaking. Do you guys find the different views?
What do you recommend?
I can speak, but anybody else want to share?
Hi, I'm happy to share. I have 23 students or 24, and I usually put everybody in a gallery view at some point in the beginning. So if you click on it now, you can sort of experiment. Yeah.
But when I do gallery view, it only shows 20 people.
It should show 21. So click on it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it should show all of us, or 22.
So suppose I have a class of 32. Will it be able to show 32 on one page?
So it should, but what you might want to do, or what I did in one of my classes was 26, is I only did gallery view sparingly at the very beginning when I took attendance. And then I either did breakout rooms or I would just kind of have them in the line view. But gallery view, there's only so much your eyes can take in. So 32 sounds tough to me. I did it with 20, like I said, with 24, but only for short periods of time. You're not going to be on gallery view and not a lot. Also, you have to be sharing your screen or else there's nothing for them to be looking at. So you're not going to really be in gallery view a lot of the time, if that makes sense. There's just no way to keep it that way unless, so here, I'll show, I'm wearing my robe.
So
but
you're basically teaching blind then. You don't really see what your kids are.
Yeah, so, okay, I'm in my robe. Sorry, forgive me. But yeah, so just say you're all, hi, nice to meet you. If you're doing this is basically direct instruction on Zoom, how much of just speaking do you want to do to your 23 students? Not that much. You want some kind of a visual, a shared visual you can show them. So this view, I'm looking at all 22 of you, I didn't find useful beyond attendance. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, you have speaker view or you have, oh yeah, someone sharing their whiteboard screen. That's great.
So I guess just as a yes or no question, if I wanted to have 32 people on one screen, it sounds like I can't do it. Zoom doesn't have the capacity to do that. Is that correct?
It really might. Let's see. Some like my colleagues.
You can have up to 49. You have to go to your preferences. You
Yeah.
go to your Zoom.us preferences, and there's a checkbox at the bottom, I believe, on let's see, on video tab, and there's a checkbox that says display up to 49 participants per screen in gallery view.
And that would be where exactly again? I'm sorry.
Are you on a Mac or PC?
I'm on a Mac.
Okay, click the Zoom.us menu up on top left next to the apple. Click on preferences, and then click on the video tab on the left.
Got it.
And then on the bottom, very, very bottom, there's a check box that says display up to 49 participants per screen.
Okay, mine is dimmed and it says the CPU only supports 25 participants on the screen.
Oh.
Okay, so you need an upgraded computer.
Great,
Well,
I'll ask my principal.
You know what? Another thing some of my colleagues did is they got a second monitor from school.
That's huge.
So I didn't do that yet because that was too much for me to wrap my head around. But everybody who's done it says it's worth it because then on one monitor you can have your gallery view, and then your laptop is just for your screen sharing. And I think it's probably, I would do that if I had more than 24 students. I think I would do that. Also, does your school have a policy where kids you have to see their faces, their cameras have to be on?
That's a whole other question that I don't know. I don't know whether, I asked that of our principal, you know, can we tell them they have to do that? I don't know if we're allowed to tell them to do that. Do you know?
I mean, I think it's school, but our school is adopting a policy. But if you don't have that policy and kids are not going to have their cameras on anyway, and you can't force them to have their cameras on anyway, I wouldn't even sweat the gallery view. Just focus on what you're screen sharing and focus on breakout rooms. Because it's so hard to keep track of anybody anyway. And then if you can't, does that make sense? In terms of your focus, like how hard this is going to be anyway, the screen sharing and the teaching is hard enough, but throwing into it, seeing everybody in a gallery view when you can't force them, that sounds really hard to me.
Who is sharing this whiteboard now? I wonder.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Sorry?
It's me. I've never done this before as a participant. I never even thought about sharing a screen. I can't tell what's happening. On my end, I can still just see my face. Like on my end, it doesn't look like I'm sharing a screen. So I can still see myself in the computer.
Okay.
How are you guys? I don't understand how you guys are seeing this.
So if you stop sharing your screen,
Yeah.
then I'll share mine. And so then you can see it from your end.
That would be awesome.
And so basically what ends up happening, as soon as you start to share your screen, the gallery view goes away and all the participants only see your screen.
So that's pretty profound to think that like somebody in my Zoom can totally take control of it.
They cannot. That's a setting that you would put on, that they cannot do that.
So I should learn how to do that because
Yes.
I'm teaching babies. They're 6 years old. They could click anything they want. You know what I mean?
Right. So this is what we see when you were sharing your screen.
Oh.
And so, you know, this was a big challenge for me because I teach middle school math.
Yeah.
And so trying to walk students through solving an equation or putting an equation, it's very time consuming. And so, you know, you have to have a lot of patience and you have to practice with the stylus if you're going to use this.
Michelle, use the text tool. I way prefer, go to the top there and use your typing text tool and you get a text box. And this is how I record. I was going to say, what's our strength and weaknesses? And it's awesome to use the whiteboard for, do you want to try the text?
Sure. And Jason put in our chat that he found a different platform that he likes. And I haven't played with that one just yet. But in your settings, when like your general settings, when you go to set up a meeting, depending on your district, some of the settings are locked because the district has certain things that they want. But like, for instance, ours is that it's preset so that participants are muted upon entry. There. So the settings here. And you want to really go through the settings and read each one so that you are setting up your meeting. And then once you do it in settings, it's set like that for every meeting. So you can change it, but you want to preset it first.
But how to use the whiteboard? Can someone tell me how to use the whiteboard?
I will. I'd be happy to. Let me stop sharing here. So when I start sharing my screen, I'm going to go down to the green button and I'm going to share my screen. And the first thing I get, I'm going to show you my phone too. I get a choice. The second box is going to say whiteboard and I'll show you what so I'm going to write here. Do you see my whiteboard now? And
yes. How can I use the whiteboard?
I'll do it. What works well in distance learning? Can someone say one sentence and I'm going to collect what you say? What can work well in distance learning?
Differentiated instruction.
Okay, so you guys kind of get an example, less interruptions. Okay, so you get an example of that. Yeah, I'm going to have you share your whiteboard. So may I ask, I'm sorry, who asked about the whiteboard?
Sarah.
Great. So go down to The bottom here, you see a screen share. Everyone can kind of look at your own. The green button, I believe. Do you see that green button?
Share screen?
Share screen, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you click on that. And then you, not your first, but maybe your second choice might be a whiteboard. Do you see that option?
Yes.
Everyone
Yes,
can look at
yes.
hers. No one else touch it but hers. And if you click on whiteboard, then you should have whoever clicks on share first. There you go.
Oh, okay.
And at
Okay.
the, we can't see your tools. You can, and everyone please play with this later. I played last night. I changed colors. But click on text box. It's like a T at the top, and that allows you to type. In technology,
Oh, okay.
text, there you go, say hello, or whatever you want to say.
Karen, I don't mean to
Yay!
interrupt. Karen,
everyone-
Holiday Smith has a question.
Oh, thank you.
It's in the chat.
I have a question about the whiteboard. Sorry. So if the student
Sorry
is
if I could interrupt. I actually have to go. I have an appointment. But if I could get it answered real quick, I've been waiting for a bit. There was the thing about 2 screens, which would be amazing. But
Yeah.
I have lots of internet issues, and so do all my students because they're in a rural area. So even when we pay like 3 times as much, our internet's terrible. If you use 2 screens, are you going to have more issues with connectivity?
Not with connectivity, I don't believe. You're going to be able to shut that screen up. You'd have one with your Zoom board. I'm sorry, with your Zoom, you could see more faces. That 49, I love that Jason shared that. And your other one would be your working area. You're going to be typing there. And by the way, you're
Okay, and just the fact that you have 2 computers up running at once won't
one's
cause
for
an issue.
faces and one's for your classroom management.
Right, I know, but when you're in a truly rural area, you know, like the internet's so bad that sometimes just that little bit extra. I'm just wondering if anybody's had any experience with that. If you live in town, you
Holiday,
probably
I would just test it. It just depends. I mean, it's going to take more processing power, which means it's going to take more bandwidth. Do you have enough bandwidth to cover that? It's just the only way you're going to figure that out is if you test it.
Okay, thanks.
wait, about the whiteboard, whenever the student use whiteboard to write something, and it's just automatically sharing the screen?
Go ahead, Jason.
Correct. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's correct. But remember, if your students have Chrome devices, whiteboard is not enabled on Chrome devices. It's not functional on Chromebooks.
Oh, so what if I want them to write something, but I don't want them to share? So then they have to share if they write whatever on the whiteboard, really?
So the whiteboard doesn't work on Chromebooks. They can just still have like just paper and pencil, and they can hold things up. What are you talking about? Like they're just working out a problem, or how can we help you more specifically?
I think I will use the whiteboard for some. I'm a Chinese student. I'm sorry, Chinese teacher at PCS. So if I want them to write a character on whiteboard,
yeah,
and then they show me, I can see, right? I can see if they use whiteboard.
I love that all of us are learning. I'm going to keep showing some tools, and you're going to put it into your tool chest. That's a great idea. Yeah, Teacher Lori, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. I was hoping to be able to use my document reader connected to my laptop to be able to model handwriting, etc., for my first graders. Currently, my IT person for my district is not able to hook up my laptop to my document reader. I'm hoping he will be able to today. And then as far as sharing work, I am going to be using Seesaw for students to submit examples of their work.
Excellent. Excellent.
So I don't see, just backing up to last year's Zooming, when I tried to show my students anything, they couldn't read it, and I couldn't read what they were showing me. So I do have a document camera that, or a camera that I'm hoping I'll show it to you. this little guy that I'm hoping to get hooked up instead of my phone. I don't want to be holding my phone the whole time.
Okay, and Michelle has a great way. She invented her phone. She invented a dock camera out of her phone.
Okay. And I have a camera, but I want my document reader that is pointing down onto the work that I'm modeling.
We all want that.
You can
Yes.
use your phone.
Yeah, can you talk more about the phone thing? That blows me away. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, so basically what I did, because it was kind of a makeshift,
Right.
I got 3 cans of soup and I stacked them on top of each other.
Good.
And then I put my cell phone on top of the 3 cans, and then I put like a tuna can on top of it. And so what's happening right now, someone is connecting with their phone.
That's me.
And then you choose your camera.
Okay.
And so then you can zoom in. So you can write, like and if you so what I did is I wrote out the steps to a problem that I was helping students solve. And then just like you would kind of, I don't know the age of the teachers in here, but if you were going to do like old school, like on transparency, and you had the transparency and then you would slide the paper, right, and show each line by line. I would just do that with the students. So then I wasn't physically writing every single step. It was more, okay, here's step number 1. And then I would slide the paper. This is step number 2. And we talk about it. If you're modeling that for younger students, then I would just, really like slowly just write each letter.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And I was going to say too, there's also, you can use books instead of cans. Sometimes the cans can scratch the screen. So I've seen people use books, stack of books, then put a book on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's also an app that allows you to mirror your phone onto your screen called Reflector 3. So it's you can actually share your screen and then and quickly go from a tab to your doc cam, and quickly go from your doc cam to your tab if you mirror your phone or your iPad to your screen. Also, you can get like a Wacom tablet from Amazon, plug it in, and actually have like a little tablet you write on, and then use the whiteboard more efficiently as well.
Right before I leave, I'm showing my dock camera, and I'm in my house, but pretend I was at a store, and I would definitely have a tripod for this. So I apologize, I don't have a tripod, and I would say, hey, which is a better buy? Would I want to buy this peanut butter for this this price, or this peanut butter? And I could be at Safeway or some gift store, and I could be distance learning. I've always wanted to take my class to a grocery store to learn about unit rate and pretend that there was a store behind me. I could do that. We could go to a park. You could go on a field trip, a virtual field trip, and you could use the camera through Zoom as an option. So I'm going to stop sharing now. So just giving you some ideas.
So can you just say what you just did again? I am so confused. So you were on the camera of your phone, the video, and you selfied yourself.
Yeah, if you go to share screen, the green button, and I wish I had more time. I'm trying to inspire you, not overwhelm you.
Yeah, no. It's helpful. I mean, I'm a first grade teacher. I have to record morning meetings starting Wednesday. How do I do that?
A tripod with the, I don't have that with me. I have a tripod with just the iPhone holder. A lifesaver, game changer. I also have the circle light. I'll show you in a minute. So go down to share screen, everybody, and on your green button, don't push it, please, but giving you something to look at. You see the first one is your desktop. By the way, huge hint, listen to me. You have to have on your Google, on your tab open, what you're going to share. So we'll practice that. But the next one says whiteboard, and the next one says iPhone. And I just did it for the first time last night. I've seen Michelle do it, but I just got my hands on it, click that. It said, go to your phone, swipe up and find share setting, click on iBook. I just followed it. I read the screen, which is so important. And
is it all iPhone? What about an Android?
Jason, any thoughts about the Android? Because
you would probably want to use, again, I recommend using Reflector 3, which is about a $25 app that you put on your computer.
It's Reflector?
Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat.
Thank you.
But if you have a doc cam available, I actually recommend and you want to show documents, that is a little bit easier. Like Karen mentioned, I think it's a great idea to show mobile stuff sometimes. You want to go outside and show them something outside, you can do that as well. Both, you can log into Zoom with your mobile app and do that, or you can just do it through your computer and then mirror your computer as well. So I'm gonna put the reflector app in the chat in a
Karen,
moment.
Dave has a
Thank you.
question.
I'm just wondering, just like somebody else was just saying, my IT guy was trying to rig up my document camera to my computer so I could share. He's also having trouble doing it. And one of the problems is that the document camera, the image appears backwards. So what do you do about that? Because obviously that's a problem.
There should be a way on the doc cam to switch the image, reverse the image.
Can I answer that? You guys, my 9-year-old fixed that problem for me.
Yay, 9-year-old.
I do have my document camera hooked up. My IT person was able to do it. I'm at the same district as you, Dave. Marla was able to do it. But so my daughter showed me that if you go down and you click the mirror on your own Zoom settings, then it'll flip it for you. Does that make sense?
Is the mirror in Zoom or
Where is
on your doc camera?
Oh,
No, but
gosh.
in Zoom, we can switch the right to left because that's
Yes.
super important that you get your right and left when you're talking to the student.
Yes.
And I'm
Do that.
So it's under video settings again. Remember, you can always go to your preferences and look
Yes.
through everything. So go
That's
to
what
video,
Zoe did. Sorry.
and there's a checkbox for mirror video.
I have some not so good news from Jason, but I totally understand and I am so apologetic. Breakout rooms, I keep looking for it. It was not enabled. It's enabled now. But in order to do that, we'd have to restart Zoom, which is, by the way, this morning I had Michelle and Pam try to come in and mine was locked. So I had to go through unlock and restart. So it's really important, once you get these all, the preferences set up, you won't have to keep redoing it, but you're going to hit some little stumbling blocks, and please don't be discouraged. Just have that growth mindset and say next time. So Jason, looks like we will not be able to go to the breakout rooms, which I'm very disappointed at. Okay.
Now, something with breakout rooms too, because there's some conversations you probably should have with your district as far as what's allowed with breakout rooms, and if you have that conversation, because technically when you send students to breakout rooms, they're quote unquote unsupervised. You can't be in all breakout rooms at once. And so, you know, there should be a policy around that.
And you can, Michelle and I've used our resource specialist to lead those groups. So I want to show that. Okay, a couple of things I want to show everyone. I want you to have a chance. Go ahead, Teacher Lori. I love that you have
Well, I just have, one of my plans is to keep the same Zoom going for 3 hours and having breakout rooms within that, where one of my paraeducators is going to be doing a phonics lesson. Do you recommend keeping the same Zoom going or having a first grader going in and out of different Zooms?
That's a really good first grade question. For middle school, we can have them leave and come back. Michelle and I sometimes start the class and say, go work on this or make this video or take this assessment and have them come back. Elementary teachers, what's your take on that? High school and middle school, they can go and come back. Absolutely. Elementary?
6-year-olds, not so much.
I can't say because I don't teach that, but what's your take on that?
Well, and I would even ask Teacher Lori, I would ask your district to see if you can utilize parent volunteers like you would at centers. If there's like a cleared, you know, if parents have been cleared with however your district does it with fingerprints and all that kind of stuff, and see if maybe you could have a parent in each breakout room that helps the students. So then you could, if you wanted to rotate centers, let's say, so you have your lists, you know, kind of preset of what you want to do, and all those students start with you, and then you push them into breakout rooms with different either school staff or parent volunteers. Then you can close that breakout room and bring everybody back together.
That's what I want to do, yeah.
Yeah, and then now the tricky part is I haven't done this, so I'm not sure. You'd have to do a little bit of research. If you can preset another rotation, or if all you need to do is move the parent volunteer.
Uh-huh.
So like the student, so say for instance, like you and Karen and I are a cohort, and we get pushed out to our first center and we're doing some math, right? And then we're pulled back to the main group. Instead of trying to move the three of us, then we would have maybe Pat Ward she would get moved to our breakout room. Then we would get pushed again. And now we have a different facilitator, and now we're going to do some writing practice or whatever. So instead of trying to move the students,
You move the facilitator. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
of course.
That's great discussion.
I just shared a Google Sheet template that I created. If you guys are line parent volunteers, that can be easily used for month-long parent volunteer signups to facilitate breakout rooms. So it's something that you can post out to parents if you're interested.
Know that they would only have to join on their own computer unless they're going to be with their child. They could share that screen. That might be a good idea. And that you can handle the breakout rooms. And again, this is this inspiration, and hopefully, also I want you guys to know how to share screen, and you know how to set up to invite people to a Zoom meeting. Have you guys invited? So let's do a quick, we're gonna put something on your screen and you're going to share it. So find an image. This is important. So it's gonna, if you can't do it, it's okay right now. Find an image of someplace you would like to go on vacation. I know all my vacations were canceled this year. So what we're gonna try to do, and you have to have that on a tab before we share screen. A big mistake I made was I would switch in the middle and my students didn't see the switch. So I'm gonna use Command Tab. If you're on a Mac, this is toggles between my programs, or find your browser. I'm on Chrome right now, and I'm gonna find where my vacation, an image of Hawaii. My Hawaii vacation was definitely canceled this year. So I have an image on my screen, and you have to have it on your screen before you try to share. So would anybody, and once you share, I want you then to be able to kind of unshare quickly. Would anyone like to try? It's okay if you make a mistake. No, nothing's gonna pop in your, there we go. We got somebody, you got it. There you go. Okay, unscreen, great. Anybody like to try to share your screen? Make sure when you get a share screen, you see iPhone and whiteboard, and your image is gonna be somewhere there. Try to click on that image of some vacation. Anybody like to try that? You got this. Good job. There we go. Who's got, yay, you got it. Awesome. Okay, and excellent, excellent. Can everybody try that? And you'll notice on your share screen, you'll see multiple choices. Oh, you guys, I want to go to Hawaii. Oh, beautiful. Where's that? That's lovely. Everyone try to share a screen. Kind of scary first time, but you got this. You got it. Oh, Italy. You guys are doing a great job. And this is creating some community. You could have them share more. I love the way you're doing it pretty fast. I appreciate that because of our time limit. But your students, you no time limit. Awesome. You guys are all going to Hawaii with me. That's awesome. No, really, last week we were supposed to be in Hawaii, but it got canceled. Would anybody like to voice over? Big Sir, can anyone voice over? Good. Everyone have a chance for that?
Wait, so you guys allow students to share screen during the class time?
Oh, thank you for that excellent questioning. Again, I'm coming from the secondary. You definitely have a discussion here because we have that option to turn off that. I want you to know as host, absolutely have to share screen. Absolutely you have to share screen. In fact, I'm going to bring up my agenda, what I'm working through. You have to have an agenda. I just put it up on, I'm going to share screen. So here is my agenda, not my Hawaii picture. This is my agenda. So this is actually what we're doing. We played the game. We checked in with tech and audio. So we're actually going through, we haven't done this one yet. This is the breakout room. This is which scene, but we're going through my agenda. So I need you as host, you need to share screen. This is a super important. So
Yeah,
keep
of course. Yeah. I share screen when I'm teaching, but I never allow my student to share the screen.
sharing. Middle school.
Can I,
I'm gonna hold on one second. I think Karen, the question I think what you're wanting to hear from us is that the answer is it's up to you. You have to create a classroom culture. And in the beginning of the school year, for me personally, I'm not going to allow my students to share because I have to go through some norms. I have to go through some expectations. I have to let them know what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. If you just give them all the tools at once and without any expectations, then you're going to have some consequences with that because some people are going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So you have to work within your comfort zone and you have to slowly roll it out. So if there's one student in your class, if Dave is showing that he is on point and he is doing his work and he is really responsible, then I might say to Dave, I'm going to allow you the opportunity to share your screen. Can you please share with me what, the slide 4 that you sent to me from homework last night? I wouldn't start a Zoom where every participant can share their screen. That you're setting yourself up for issues.
Yeah, I wanted to share Ning Ning. Last semester, I was teaching Spanish 3. And when we started online, it was right before we had a day with my Spanish 3 students that they needed to do oral presentations. And I was like, no. And then this screen sharing was a savior because they had their Google slide. They were working on those. It was a group work. And they did it like that. So in that case, and of course, you're not going to do it immediately. But that's in the language when they have to speak. And visuals are essential. For them to share and show the images is good, but it has a process. You have to.
But my goal right now, our goal is to make sure you as a teacher have these tools because these are essential. I have so many that you need to be able to share your screen. I agree with Michelle. I agree with all of you. It's very tricky to have the students share screen, and you have the right. If you go through your settings, you have to turn off a lot of rights and you can bring them up. There's security down below there. There's a security button and you can change your rights while you're in Zoom, some of them, and other ones you have to go into settings. So, but as a teacher, I'm trying to equip you as an educator to have these tools that you can use and your options, but you're gonna have to really limit your students. Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? So my daughters dance 6 days a week. So they've been on Zoom classes in my living room all summer, which has been super fun. We have an open floor plan and it's a little awkward. But anyway, but their teachers, I noticed all summer I hear them talking and they're like, okay, now I'm gonna spotlight so-and-so. And then that dancer shows up on the screen and then that dancer is spotlighted. What is that and how would that work? Because I could see how that could function in terms of sharing out orally or things like that. Can you be a host and like spotlight someone? Oh, look at you. You spotlighted me. How do you do that?
As host, want me to give you host powers?
Yeah.
There's 3 dots and you can, what I use this was when I'm in a big staff meeting and one of them had like a newborn baby, I'm sorry. And I was just like staring at and I was listening to everybody, but I spotlighted them. So can I make you host? Would you feel comfortable with that?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Make host, it's just right there but I don't explain it right, Samantha. I go up to ... But Michelle, I love that you say there's another way.
Yeah.
Your participant ready. Samantha is now host now.
Okay, so it says I'm the host now, and then
Choose anyone you want. And there's two ways. I go up to the 3 dots at the top of their window, but Michelle says you can go down to participants, and I love, Michelle, you sharing that.
okay.
Is there a spotlight there under participants?
So when I must be on a weird screen, because hold on, let me change my screen.
No problem. This is what we need to.
Oh, there we go. So I had to go back to full screen mode. That's what I had the chat on the right side. So now I'm going to go to the more button at the bottom. That's what you're talking about. Oh no, it says live on Facebook, live workplace by Facebook, live on YouTube.
So go to someone's name and write. Michelle, go ahead and take over, because I do it. I'd go to their box and I go to the 3 dots. 3 dots in always means there's more information here to read.
So the dot thing is a little
in
awkward because if you're not on gallery view, you can't see everybody. So I can see what you mean. Like you have to be on gallery view to see everybody's. Okay, but if you're not up on gallery, you can go to an individual.
So if you go to did you click on the participants tab on the bottom?
Yeah.
And then you can hover over, so maybe hover over Pat Ward.
I see Janet Ward. Oh, Pat Ward. Okay, so
Okay.
hover over and I see mute and more.
Click on more.
Oh,
There you go.
Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Thank you. That's super helpful. Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack.
Everyone needs to get your video going. You got to get used to seeing yourself. Sorry. Good job.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. You can
Anyone
take
like
the hosting duties back.
I'm going to reclaim host, but anybody else want to be the host? I've got to get my gallery view. Okay. Anybody like to see the host? There's ... more.
I'd like to try it.
Good. Who's that? Pat? Pat?
I'm Janet Ward. Would like to try being the host.
You are now the host.
Okay, so you have to walk me through this. If I wanted to, say, call in a student and say I'm going over to, I'll go to somebody that already has their video on, so for obvious reasons.
Did I give it to Pat Ward? Is that the right one, or did I give it to the wrong person?
I'm Pat.
Okay.
We need Janet.
I wanted to try it out. Janet wanted to try it out.
I gave it to.
I'm going to go to my 3 dots.
No, I gave it to Pat. Pat has host. I apologize.
Oh.
Pat, you can give back host, or I can reclaim it.
I don't want to be host, but I'll just wait here and you do your magic.
I did my magic. I went to you and I reclaimed host. And sorry, Janet, is it Janet Ward, may I ask?
It is Janet Ward.
I am going to make you host. I apologize. That's okay. So I told you I'd make a mistake.
You know, and I wasn't here at the beginning to introduce myself, but I just wanted to try it. Like if I wanted to focus in on a particular student, could you use this that way as the host?
Absolutely. So
that's what I wanted to try. So maybe I'll focus back to Pat. I'm sorry to pick on you, Pat.
No, I just.
But you're already up. You're already up on the screen, so maybe we should try someone else. Everyone else is. Well, Deb has her video up, but she's muted. So let's just wave to Deb. So I go over to Deb, right? And I can. What do? I just go to more. Is that
more?
Where did Deb go? I'm sorry. I'm very clumsy at this.
Do you want me to talk you through step by step?
I would
Okay.
love that.
So you have 2 choices. So we'll do the choice that I'm familiar with, and then Karen has a different way that she does it.
Okay.
But because when you're sharing a screen, you can always access the person through participants. So at the bottom of the screen, you see where it says participants. It says participants, chat.
Oh, yeah. As a host, I didn't even open at the bottom of my screen. I see that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so click on participants.
Okay.
And then you're going to have a secondary window is going to open.
Yes, and I had that window open before. So
Okay.
then I've listed the names with their little icons.
Okay, so pick someone and kind of hover over it.
And I'm going to pick Deb, like who I said, who's on video, but she's muted, but that's okay.
Okay, so when you hover over her name, you should see 2 buttons.
I see ask to unmute and more.
Good, hit more.
Oh boy, where did I go? Okay, I'm on more.
Great. And then you would
actually, Deb is no longer on video, so, oh, there she is. Okay, more. And it says stop video, spotlight, make host.
Spotlight, you want to spotlight her.
Okay. Is Deb spotlighted?
No, not yet.
No, I think she's now, she now has her video off. So I need to go to someone else because when your video is off. How about Lisa? Lisa Z.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to more. Thank you for being so patient, by the way. This is really, this is all new to me. I wasn't teaching last year and I'm just coming in from retirement. You lose a lot. I lose a lot when you're retired, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm gonna go to Spotlight. Yay, I found somebody. I'll wave to you. Okay. And so then when I leave, I just go back to more.
Or you could, if you're done spotlighting Lisa, go ahead and hit gallery
Lisa, do
view.
you see that you're in? Hi, Lisa.
You're doing great.
So now go ahead and go back up to gallery view and hit that.
So if everybody, gallery view would be, okay.
Okay, I got to reclaim.
And that says goodbye to Lisa. Is that correct? That's all I need to do is go back to gallery view if I wanted to bring my whole class together and no longer spotlight on the student?
Yes.
Just go to gallery view. Well, that's simple. Okay. Thank you for walking me through that.
I'm going to reclaim host, and we have to believe this is inspiring. We were on Zoom for an hour, and I had in my mind we needed to stand up and move around because it's super important. I've got another session coming in that I need to log out and log back in because we're going to be doing the breakout rooms. So I know this is a lot. I hope you've seen a little. Most important thing, read the screen, push buttons, keep learning. There's tons of videos out there. Reach out to the support. Pamela and Michelle are my team, and we Zoom is more than we meet, but we work together so well. So blessings, and please contact me. I'd be happy to coach you one-to-one anytime. All of us will help each other out through this, and we're educators. Keep a growth mindset. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We've got some great, I'm going to go to the afternoon trainings. I'm going to get my Bitmoji. I'm going to get my classroom set up. So I'll be seeing you in other sessions.
Thank you.